Hello everybody, Glass Half Dead here, and today I'm doing another battle report in lovely granddad style, showing old slides of a holiday type format, because who doesn't want that? I have played against Eldar and Grey Knights twice. Thing I'm showing you today, I'm just going to run through them really quickly, and then most of the video, hopefully, is actually going to be more just my feelings, my thoughts on Genestealer cults so far, and also how it felt to play against Eldar and how it felt to play against Green Knights. So let's dive in, because for some reason I thought what this format really needed was for you to be able to look at my face as I struggle to remember what the hell happened. Hopefully I'll edit most of that out. Let's find out. So, up first we have the Eldar Ranger Leader, veteran Dark Eldar Avenger Exarch, Dark Eldar? Dire Avenger, with double Shuriken catapults. Fusion Gunner, I don't know what he's got. And this guy here is Comms. And this is them from above, so you can see all of their beautiful heads. And here we have Genestealer cults. Our boy here is the leader. You can tell him he's the leader because he's got a pistol. Yeah. Genestealer. Oh, yeah, so he's a lizardman, but he's a Genestealer. It just works. It just works, trust me. Also well camouflaged for the board, so that's nice. He is a veteran. Boyo with the rock cutter here is our combat, and the rock saw is the zealot. Okay, that's it. And that's them from above. Again, as you could tell, I only primed the front of my metamorph leader there. Good stuff. Oh, I should probably go over the rest of the list, shouldn't I? This one is pretty simple. We have a total of 2 fusion gunners, and then we have 4 standard Dire Avengers, and this is a star cannon, I believe. Here we have 2 flamers, acolyte leader with a flame pistol. We've got 2 rock saws, 2 rock cutters, metamorph leader, no bone swords, Genestealer leader. Cool. Right, and this is how we ended up deploying. Unfortunately, I didn't actually take a picture of the mission we were playing. Genestealer cults went with thin their ranks, bounty hunters, domination. Up here we went with attrition, thin their ranks, and domination. How is this deployment? As you can tell, because it's me playing both sides, I think they call that sad hammer, but let's not go into that. I basically had the same idea for both teams. We've got my veteran Genestealer here who's going to make an advance move to open the door. And equally, we have the veteran, and also we have the veteran Dire Avenger up here, going to do exactly the same thing, make the advance move, open the door. They can then continue to make their full move. Slightly different thoughts here. The intention with the Eldar was to open the door and just shoot as much as they possibly could. They don't want to get into combat. Combat will not go well for them, obviously. The way this scenario works, before I continue, is you get 1 point or 1 victory point for holding a single objective, 1 more victory point for holding 2 or more objectives, and then another victory point for holding more objectives than your opponent. There is also a special ability, victory point earning thing in this one, where if you hold the 2 objectives furthest away from the center, so closest to the edges of the board, which in this case is number 4 and number 5, then you... Oh, if you couldn't figure out the intention with these guys was to just pile in, see what happens. Yeah. These guys are going to run there, hold 4. Those guys are going to run there, hold 5. Let's see. Okay, so we've had our first turn of movement here. Everybody did what I just said they were going to do. The Genestealer's moved up there, so if he wants, he can open this door or hold it closed for some reason if he wants to do that. Or he can get a blind charge around the corner on the next turn. This guy is out in the open to the Dire Avenger, which is bad. What can you do? This guy... So... What was I thinking? I don't even know. Did he go for a charge and miss it? I don't think so. I'd have remembered that. I think he moved. He did that intentionally, um, for some reason. Presumably to try and get domination, which is where if you have the most number of models within 3 inches of the center of the board, you get a victory point. We also seem to have had some shooting occur here. This is obviously the end of round one. I've lost a rock saw. No, rock saws. I've lost a rock cutter, and I've lost my leader. So obviously that was a great start. Some great shooting from the Eldar there. Suddenly this first turn, yeah. So here's what we lost. We lost a flamer, the metamorph leader, the acolyte leader, and my leader. Man. And I only got 2 victory points. How did I get 2 victory points? I'm holding that objective and domination. There you go. So that was a tough first turn. Ugh. Whereas the Eldar, as we can see, got 5. Why? Who really knows? I'd have to read the objectives. So they definitely got thin their ranks. They did not get domination, but they did get attrition. So that would make sense. This is just to show that I'm going to make a sexy charge, I assume. I don't know. Are things about to turn around for me? Who knows? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Uh, so the rock cutter in the middle there didn't have much to do. It was charge this blob or get killed the next turn. I went for the charge. It did not work. Yeah. At which point the Eldar move up to take the center objective, which will also give them domination. However, if we look at the other parts of the board, we see these guys down here, all the Eldar dead. So they cleaned up there. This Eldar up the top, still alive, but whatever. Then we see these dice here are actually, I was using my Skaven dice, lovely dice by the way, as markers for bounty hunters. So whenever somebody dies, you leave a token of some sort where they die, and if you begin or end your movement phase, oh no, sorry, if you end your movement phase within touching range of one of those tokens, for example, if you're in close combat, then you pick it up and it gives you a victory point. You can only score it 3 times throughout the entire game, though, as I'm sure you know. So anyway, they managed to get 3 victory points from that. The Eldar have the center and the, well, one of those, but currently they're not holding that. So actually, at this point, the Genestealer cults have turned it around and are holding not only 1 objective, 2 objectives, but they're also getting more objectives than the enemy. They also have both of the objectives at the top and bottom of the board. So this is a big scoring round for them. And they somehow managed to get 3 on the bounty hunter objectives. They're not getting domination, but on this one, clearly they are getting thin their ranks. So big scoring turn for the Genestealer cults. What's happened? What's the difference? The seismic cannon died, and that guy up there died. Those guys rearranged, and I remembered to put them in the relevant place on the bounty hunter's card. Okay, and that's the end of the turn. Oh yes, yeah. Oh, so why are there 2 dice there? Firstly, again, lovely dice. However, the reason they are there is because they broke. Yeah, I just felt I had to shame them. The thing is, Eldar have a leadership of 8. That should have been an easy save, but they broke with a 10. Very disappointed in the Asuryani there. And they end the game with a mere 7 victory points, whereas Genestealer cults had 19. What a turnaround! After the first turn, or the second turn, they managed to get the rest of those victory points in only turns 2, 3, and 4. No, 3 and 4. Maths is hard. Either way, big turnaround. Genestealer cults absolutely wiped the floor with Eldar, despite having a horrific first turn, where they lost 4 models in the first turn. But then for the rest of the match, so actually I was ready to give up and just redo the opening turn with the Genestealer cults and the Eldar there, because I was like, what's the point? But huge turnaround, which is kind of how it should be. I mean, you know, I mean, you know, the Eldar are, after all, the medium range, good shooting army. That's what they're about. And then the Genestealer cults got into combat and they won, which is, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Oh, we have another picture there. I don't know why. This is just a very quick picture with the Grey Knights. We're playing the same mission, except I have an actual opponent instead of playing against myself now. Quite the novelty, I know. Clearly, I hadn't learned a huge amount from when I played against myself there. I'm still doing the same thing here. My Genestealer is going to advance move, open that. Yep, they are going to hope for a charge along there. I can't remember the exact distance of that room, but you can't flame from one end to the other. So it's over 8 inches, which means you're looking at what, at least a 9-inch charge? I'm not a tactician. That's all I'm going to say. Then we have a leader back here, leader at the back, because he doesn't want to get killed. These two, a little bit different to the previous game, I obviously decided let's run up here. I guess the reason for that was because he obviously deployed differently to me. He put somebody there. I'm expecting him to charge around here. Yeah. Now, I seem to have just taken a picture to reinforce what I just said. That's how he deployed. This is a turn. I'm assuming turn 1. As you can tell, I advanced up here. I'm actually capturing objective 3, which is great, and 2 and 4. So, you know, first turn, I've got 3 objectives. Pretty nice. After he opened the door and I realised I was going to be facing 3 Stormbolters shooting at me at close range, I decided not to go into that room. I think that was the right choice. And I instead headed with this guy around the side, thinking, okay, I'll match this guy here. But I've left the Flamer back to just capture objective 2, because why not? And this guy advanced up, he's going to go for a sexy charge. And these guys are just trying to get the objective. And then I didn't take any more pictures. So, the way the rest of this game played out was actually very interesting. So I should have taken pictures. I was doing relatively well. I think I got, well, so I only got a single kill. My opponent was choosing his targets really well. He was only ever using his CP to reroll psychics. No, he didn't need to reroll a psychic test. Basically, he would reroll wound rolls for his smites, and he managed to smite kill me every turn. No, he smite killed me 3 turns. The 4th one was just a flesh wound. Yeah, smite's really tough. I've got to say, smite's really tough. Anyway, I totally dominated the objectives, no doubt. However, somehow at the end of it, so he throughout the entire game from the primary objective only ever scored 2 victory points a turn. He ended up with 6 victory points from the board. But he then had, I think he managed to get 7 victory points from his secondary objectives, which gave him the win, because although I dominated the main board, I don't think I got any of my objectives, secondary objectives, which is true. I would have managed, he beat me by a single point. I got 12, he got 13. He beat me by a single point, and actually that's partly because I forgot that I was doing bounty hunters. So this Grey Knight here and this Roxor here, they engaged. The Roxor in the psychic phase took a flesh wound from the mortal wound smite spam there. That he was the only one that survived a smite throughout the entire game. Taking a flesh wound instead, despite my opponent doing a reroll on that, and he managed to get the kill. I forgot that I had bounty hunters as a secondary objective. If I had remembered that, I'd have drew, one of those. So yeah, really close. Do not forget your secondary objectives. And then this was the other mission that you can play on the same board. this is how we set up. This is a really weird mission, actually. You see the placement of the 4 objectives. The placement of the 4 objectives is kind of odd. So you get 1 victory point for holding any number of objectives, and then you get another 2 victory points if you hold both of the objectives around the entrance room. That's what that's called, the entrance room. So that's odd. And then you get another victory point if you hold the objective that is the furthest away from your deployment zone that is within the entrance room. So for me, it's this objective. For him, it's this objective. How did that go? It was a very low scoring game when it comes to victory points. We didn't really get many. Definitely not off the board, at least. As you can tell, he just piled up all there. He's just going all in. I've tried to spread it out a bit because obviously I have more models. Don't really want to get people bunched up in a single place. Didn't want to just run everybody into the entrance room, which might have been a valid tactic. But I'd be running into... These would all be able to shoot me. So what's that? 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. 20 shots. He'd just take me out. It would be a massacre. So I tried to spread out a bit. And I don't have any more pictures. Okay, so this is actually a good one to talk about, though, because he destroyed me. I think I gave up end of turn 3. I just conceded because I only had 2 models left on the board. It was horrifying. I was basically tabled. I would have been tabled if he'd wanted to, and it was yeah. The thing is, I didn't do anything wrong. Well, no, okay, you could argue I did, which is losing, but my tactics weren't terrible. It wasn't like I was doing stupid things. I got good charges. I don't think... No, he killed one of my guys from Overwatch because he got a clean Overwatch shot. But apart from that, I wasn't making any bad choices. I was getting the right units into his guys. I was getting my cutters and my saws in there, my Genestealer, my leaders. But yeah, he just... Exactly the same thing happened this turn as last turn. Game as last game. His mortal wound smite in the psychic phase, just nothing I could do. He just beat me. If I managed to get a saw into combat, he would smite the saw. If I got a cutter in, he would smite the cutter. If I got the Genestealer in, he would smite the Genestealer. And that is literally how he killed me. So he would spend his rerolls on killing or on the mortal wound injury roll. He was rolling very well, I will also admit. But you know, I don't like to use the dice as an excuse. But for example, his hammer got some kills. Yeah. But anyway, it didn't go brilliantly, and I left feeling a little bit dejected, and like clearly I need to start myself a Grey Knight team. But with all of that said, I was enjoying the Genestealer Colts. They're quite a fun team to play. They are very much a glass cannon, which is not to everybody's liking, obviously. But yeah, good games as well. They were fun to play. Genestealer Colts, fun to play. Grey Knights, a little bit frustrating to play against because when it comes to that psychic phase, there's nothing you can do. Obviously, if you were Thousand Suns, Grey Knights, or Tyranids, well, Tyranids to a lesser extent, but Thousand Suns and Grey Knights, obviously you've got that Deny the Witch, and Tyranids are just going to suffer from Psychic a little bit less because obviously they have Shadow in the Warp. Despite the fact that I lost to the Grey Knights twice there, you know, I had a good time. And although obviously I'm pitching all of these videos as, oh, I'm a competitive gamer and I'm going to go and play Kill Team Arena at Warhammer World and oh, I want to win. I don't really. I want to have good games, to be honest. And these were fun games. I personally actually, because I know myself quite well in a weird kind of meta way, and I like teams that have good saves and can hit things. So Marines, they have a 3-up save, they hit things on threes. I like that purely because I then don't have to rely on lucky dice. For example, when I was playing Orcs, they're such a swingy army because if you're rolling well, your shooting is actually really quite strong. But if you're not, you've wasted your points and you have to be rolling sixes on them. And I didn't like that. Which is why I kind of gravitated towards Necrons when I first began a little bit more than Orcs, because 3-up saves, hitting on threes, strong weapons, good AP, strong, solid team. And it mitigated bad dice to quite a large degree. Genestealer cults do not mitigate bad dice. You've got a 5-up save. I cannot make a 5-up save to save my life. Or in this case, my Genestealer cult's lives. They died a lot. Yeah. So, yes. Thoughts. What's the time? 25 minutes. Do I have any thoughts? I don't know. Don't know really. I'm building a Grey Knight team and I'm going to try and play them myself. This might sound odd because obviously I'm playing against Grey Knights almost every week. So surely I know what it is to play Grey Knights, right? And I do. I know exactly what build to run them as. I know what to use my rerolls on, what to use my tactics on, etc., etc. I know the team really well because I've played them so much. However, I'm going to be honest. I want to see what happens with them when it's my dice and my rolling, because I think I roll pretty average. Partly thanks to the casino dice, right? But also, I'm just saying, I feel like my opponent rolls a little bit above average. And that is a huge thing when you have 5 models, because the whole fear of having only 5 models in your team is that if you lose one, that's a huge, well, it's 20% of your team to lose, which is huge. Whereas with Genestealer cards, I'd have to lose 2 models, which actually is significantly harder to do. So if I'm rolling my dice, which I know are pretty damn average, although having said that, I have now officially swapped to Skaven dice because I think they look awesome. Let's ignore that. I think the Grey Knights aren't going to do as well. And I think even though I am now, hopefully next week, next Wednesday, I am going to take command of the Grey Knights against whoever. It might be Harlequins, who I think are actually possibly Grey Knights' worst matchup. Might be Tyranids. Don't know. I think I'm going to lose. Let's find out. I'm interested. Anyway, everybody, I hope you've enjoyed seeing me in the... This is complicated. Where am I? And that's... Where's the top? There's the top. And there's the side. I hope you've enjoyed seeing me in the corner while I've talked about whatever it is I've talked about. And I'm sorry I keep glancing that way. That's because on my screen, that's where I am. That's where I am. So I keep checking it to make sure that I'm still in frame and I haven't gone off over here and I'm talking like this or something. I'll work on it. Hopefully, stop looking at that. I will figure it out somehow. Anyway, what are your guys' thoughts? How have you found Genestealer cults? Have you faced Grey Knights with them? And have you come away from Grey Knights and thought, you know what, Grey Knights are nothing. That was easy. Or have you faced Grey Knights and found, oh my god, Smite sucks. Are you a Grey Knight player and you are super stoked to hear how much I hate playing Grey Knights because they kill me and win every time? I don't know. You let me know in the comments below. I guess. I don't know. This is totally filler content, isn't it? I'll come up with something better after this, I guess. Right, anyway, glass half dead. Hope you've enjoyed this funky battle report with me in the corner. I hope you've all had a great day, and I hope you continue to have a great day. Glass half dead. Signing off.